Hey, so in this video, we're going to talk about some surprising things that you might encounter when you teach online. So I don't think it's just specific to QKIDS, but I kind of wish I had seen a video that kind of let me know, okay, these things can happen, so that I would be prepared and it wouldn't be such a shock. And then also these are just some challenges, and challenges aren't cons. Challenges are just things that you have to get through, or things that you might face, and then you overcome them and you're fine. Here's the first one. The first challenge is cultural differences. So if nobody's told you, China is a little bit different than the United States or Canada. You will see parents yelling at their children during class, like pretty loud and mean sounding, and kids will cry. So I wish I had known that beforehand, just so I wouldn't have been so shocked. So that is something that you will face, and it's a cultural thing in China. They're under a lot of stress to really perform academically, and I don't know. I mean, it's just the way it is. How do you explain cultural difference like that? They slap their kids. Not everybody, but you'll see it. I've seen it. They'll slap their children. You'll see kids peeing while taking, they don't even take a break. They can't even be for 1 minute to go to the bathroom. They have to go to the bathroom while they're still participating in class. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen. I saw a kid the other day that peed in a bucket, stood up in the underwear, and the mom brings over a bucket. And I'm pixelating it. I'm oh my goodness. He's going to pee in the bucket while in class. So you will encounter that. It's crazy, but people have seen some pretty harsh beatings and stuff on there, and we always report it. So they're coming, around to making sure, I guess, that they're talking with parents and stuff about that. But it's a cultural difference, so just letting you know. The other thing that you'll see is kids holding up guns that look like real guns, but real guns are banned in China, so they're not real guns, but they'll be AK-47 looking type crazy, rifles and stuff, and they'll be pointing them at you on the screen. They'll be swinging them around, all that stuff. So sometimes it's best to just not even acknowledge it, because when you acknowledge it, whatever. But if you have to put them on stage, say, okay, can you please put that down so that you can complete your part and put them on stage? Because I don't keep a kid up there if they're waving their gun around, down at the bottom where nobody sees them but me. It's whatever, but I don't put a kid on stage that is showing a gun, putting their barrel of the gun on the stage. I don't do it. Other challenges you'll face are tech issues. So tech issues could be on your end. Tech issues could be on the kids' end, where they're coming in and out of class. Just be aware of that. So a kid might leave and then come back, or their video might go out and then it comes back on. There's a lot of different tech issues that you might face. There's also sound issues that you might face. So the answer you'll get when you send the robot, you have no sound, I can't hear you, or a video, you send it. You type to CCT, hey, Johnny doesn't have sound, but the rest of the kids are good. And they write back, okay, can you try to read their lips? You can do it. I've taught classes with kids nobody had sound, and I got all green tags, and it's you get used to it. And sometimes I just get in my trance, and I'm just saying it. I'm yeah, whatever. And you can totally do it. You can get through it, but the first time you're dealing with it, you're what do I do? Just act like you're normally teaching. Act like you hear them, okay? Act and read their lips, and you will become an excellent lip reader. I promise you. Other things, standbys. So standbys are a challenge when you first start, because with standby classes, you have a standby. They assign them when they do your schedule for the week. It'll show up differently. It will say standby. You have to be in the portal before the 3 minutes before class, okay? And then you have to stay until 3 minutes after. Your standby will either convert or not convert. Okay, if it converts, a pop-up will come up and you'll hear this alarming ding sound that everybody talks about. And you'll have to just go ahead and click enter classroom, because if you review, like there's one that says review the class, don't click that, because you will lose your class and then you'll get an absence and you will lose your bonus. So do not just click to enter the classroom. You can pull up the notes for the class on your phone, on the phone app. It'll load in there. You can click for your schedule for the day and open it up, and that way you can look on there, but you're already in the classroom. So that is a challenge, is standbys, and I think the more classes you do, the more comfortable you are. But even me, sometimes I'm like, oh, there's these other classes, some adventure classes and stuff, and I haven't ever previewed some of them. So it can be a challenge, but your teacher toolkit, all of the knowledge and the experience as you gain it with QKIDS will make you more comfortable and you'll get through it. Just rely on the notes, the references on the side, and look at the lesson details on your phone, and just, love on the kids and be energetic and enthusiastic, and you can get through it. But it is a challenge. Yes, it is. The other challenge is short lessons. So normal lessons are like 11, 12, 13 slides. Sometimes you get some that are like 10 slides, and you can tell the difference. And you're like, oh man, this material, how am I going to expand this? It's like 15 minutes and I only have 2 slides left, and I still have 15 minutes to go. What am I going to do? So you become an excellent expander of material. Let me tell you, I can think of all the questions in the world. Oh, there's a fly. Sorry. Let me tell you, I can think of all kinds of questions off the top of my head looking at material from QKIDS on the screen. You'll become a pro at it, but just telling you ahead of time, when you're watching the time and you're looking at these slides, sometimes you're going to have to expand. So you ask, what is this? What is that? Do you have this in your house? Do you like to play this? Any questions to get the kids talking? That's expansion questions, and you're going to have to do it. So just know that ahead of time. There's certain lessons that are really short, not a lot of content, and you're going to have to expand. So there, I'm telling you. Another challenge is not understanding the kids' names. So most of the kids choose English names, but you'll have a couple that are like this long thing, and it's clearly like a Chinese type name. So all I do is I bring them up and I always say, hello, I'm Courtney. Who are you? And I get them to say it, and then I try to repeat it, and then I'll listen to them a couple times, and I write down what it sounds like. I have, here's my thing, Aragus, Hussailor. I just write it down on a note card, what sounds I hear, and I'll say, is that right? And usually I'm right, but you just have to look for the sounds, and you will not remember it. So you have to write it down and try your best. But some people, they'll just say, okay, can I call you friend or whatever? Because it is super hard, and I'm sure not everybody can understand it. They're difficult to say. But try your best to just figure out, okay, what's it closest to you, and write it down. And work from there. The other thing is sound problems, like kids yelling. I'm not talking about the other sound problems that we talked about earlier, but kids yelling because they're so excited to learn, and they'll scream the answer. So make sure you turn their sound down. I understand they're enthusiastic, and I love that, but there are some kids, all they do is scream the answers. So just know, we don't want to be hey, I don't know. I've never told them not to stop screaming. I've never told them to stop screaming, but I do turn their mic down really low, almost to 0. And then you will have kids that don't participate. And sometimes I just let them not participate, or I try to encourage them at first. And if I'm oh, they're not for it, I just teach the whole class. And that's it. Now, if you're on a one-on-one basis, it's a little bit harder, but 1v4, they kind of just fall into the pack, and you make sure that you give your best effort to get them to participate when they're on the stage. But some kids are just ready for bed. I've had kids fall asleep. But just know that you will sometimes have kids that don't want to participate. Sometimes because they just hate what they're doing. Sometimes because they're just so tired. Whatever. Have some grace for them. Try to include them. But again, this is just a list of some things that you might be surprised to know that you'll experience. Oh yeah, I did forget to tell you. So the other day, I had a kid stand up, and this child was the absolute model student. Like, he was phenomenal, the whole class. And when it comes to the celebration screen at the end, I put him up there, and lo and behold, he stands up, he has his t-shirt on, and he's completely butt naked. And he's like, makes a really lewd movement. And then I'm like, no, Kevin, no. And I clicked the X as fast as I could to like pull him off the screen. Because even if you click like the pixelate button, it won't pixelate them on the stage. So I clicked it, and I was like, no. And he logged out. Of course, he logged out right away because he knew what he was doing. But just so you know, there is nudity. There's all that stuff. But this is just kind of to give you a heads up. It's nothing that you can't get through, but just understand that, hey, it's part of it. It's part of what you'll encounter. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and click the bell button for more videos. And good luck to you.